another wonderful WrestleRoni for me and for you. I got to thinking, man, a lot of these episodes, we've been talking about what's wrong with the business, what's wrong with the boys backstage, what's wrong with this and that, and been a little negative. So I think we're going to switch it up. We're going to get positive with it. We're going to get back to our roots, the roots of positivity that we do have, because this young man has become a beacon of light to the West Virginia scene, and I couldn't mean that more. Nate Saturn's on the show. How you feeling, Nate Saturn?
I'm feeling great, man. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, we've been trying to do this. You were a busy kid, and I pretend to be a busy man, but we made it happen.
Yep, I'm happy about it, too. I'm excited.
Yeah, man, a lot has happened since we first started talking about you coming on the show. When I first heard Nate Saturn, everybody, oh man, this kid, wait till you see this kid. Everybody was going on before I even spoke to you. And then in the meantime, they decided they don't like you, and they beat you up in front of the world. So let's just go back to that night, man. You think, like I say, a lot of vets putting you over, a lot of people saying you're the future of the scene, and out of nowhere, just a bunch of guys turned on you. So take me back to Bradley Fire Department. What happened?
That was an interesting day, man. I lost a lot of friends that apparently, I guess, weren't as real of friends as I thought they would be. I lost some mentors. My trainer even stabbed me in the back. But as a rookie, I think it's a good lesson to learn from. I think that it shows me that I can't trust very many people in the business. So it didn't affect me. Like, it affected my mentality a little bit, but it didn't affect how I wrestle, how I work, how I win, even how I lose. You know, I carry myself the same way as I did before.
I'm glad you learned from that, because honestly, I was going to plan to take all this episode I needed to convince you don't trust anybody in this business. Now, yeah. There's some good ones out there. There's some good folks, but man, the bad folks are really good at pretending they're good folks.
Yeah, I mean, I think part of it was also jealousy in the most respectful way. They've been in the business for a very long time, and I've been here for probably 4 months now doing stuff that they've never done. So, I mean,
there you go. But you know what, man? I kind of favor the young guys in this business because I see that you guys are going to make a change if you want to. If you want to really make a change, the change we need in our local scene, it's going to take years, man. So I kind of favor the younger guys because longevity, man, like once you're up there in age, you only got so many more matches and so much you can do in that ring. And with all respect to the vets, it's up to you guys. They did what they did. They paved the road, but I really think it's this current crop coming up that can really make some noise. Who's some of your peers that you think could, make some things rattle around here with you?
Make some things rattle around here. There's a set of twins, the Dawson brothers. I train with them. Ophi Kessler, Bobby Yella. It's just like there's so many young talent getting into the business today. Some should be in the business and some probably shouldn't. But at the end of the day, everybody can learn, and no matter how good you are,
Very curious. I want to go down that route. You're seeing some things, obviously, you don't like. You're saying there's a few that shouldn't be in the business. Go down that road. What are you seeing? We don't have to name names, but what's making you think, well, this guy's in the wrong business?
It's not necessarily that they're in the wrong business. It's just like they aren't necessarily, they think they're better than they are. Like people like Jeff Paul.
Uh-oh.
He belongs in the business, but...
Okay.
But at the end of the day, he's a little bit ahead of himself, I feel like, And then you got Tony Perdue. He's worked Ring of Honor, and now he's back here in Beckley coming after me for some reason, So, I mean, they made this faction, and they're all after me. They're all after the young people, the young talent, So, I mean, long story short, I think that they want to show that they're still there. But the business takes respect, and I think that they should respect the fact that we're rising up. And just because they couldn't rise up as fast as us doesn't mean that they're worse than us or we're better than them,
I get you. And you kind of put me in a spot there because I do like all the men you mentioned, especially Jeff Paul. That's my dude, man. That's the one guy that has stood with me publicly, So, but let's go down that road. I do have to agree. The guy's got an ego, but he is damn good. We go into Mercer Mall coming up soon. November 1st is right around the corner. And I've been telling anybody to listen, this has potential to be West Virginia's match of the year. No doubt in my mind. Jeff can do it. I've seen what you're capable of. We'll throw a ladder in the mix. Those Mercer Mall shows are always super special, always a huge turnout. What can folks expect coming November 1st with Jeff Paul?
First things first, they can expect that Jeff's not gonna cheat to win like he has every time that we've been across from each other in the past, because there are no rules in a ladder match. I mean, me and Jeff, we're gonna go at it. We're gonna go head to head, and at the end of the day, the better, more experienced, or the less experienced, it doesn't really matter. But the better man is gonna get the win coming out. The person that's trained harder, the person that's worked harder for the match, the person that's come most prepared. So,
Well,
I'm really excited for it. I'm really wanting to get my hands on some gold, any gold, but the unified title. If you ask me, it is the most pretty title in the company. So
that's a big one, man. And I gotta call something to your attention. This guy can cheat all he wants. All of his goons can get involved, hold you down while he climbs that ladder. So my point, Nate Saturn, I think you're gonna have to start making some friends, man. We're talking about don't trust anybody, but I think for the time being, you're gonna have to trust somebody to have your back in that match.
I honestly couldn't agree more. But it's hard to trust people. You know how it is. It's hard to trust people when you've been stabbed in the back time after time. But it gets to a point where you got to take the risk, and you got to just try it.
Yep.
So I've started my process that way. I named some people earlier, and that's not all there is. But I mean,
Good.
there's more people in the business that can be friends or that can't be friends. But the people you trust are the people who are going to end up trusting you too. So.
That's a good point. I'll also just throw it out there. How's it work? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
so just keep that in the back of your mind. You've worked some of these Mercer Mall shows. Always a great crowd. The fans up that way. Great folks. Just tell me about the atmosphere at one of these big Mercer Mall shows.
So the Mercer Mall show's atmosphere is probably a little bit different to me than it is to every other wrestler in the locker room. That's the closest show I'm gonna get to my hometown. I'm from Princeton. It's in Bluefield. It's a 15-minute drive from my house.
Dope.
But when you see all your friends there, when you see all your family there, it's just different because you got to go out there and perform. You can't. It's like you don't want to lose in front of all of them because sometimes you'll feel like you're letting them down. But at the end of the day, you're the one out there doing it. Some people won't do it, so you know that you're not letting them down. But I mean, it's different for me because the atmosphere there, it's very they're wrestling fans.
Mm-hmm.
Some people come just to come. Some people are there just because they happen to end up there or they're with a friend. But the people at the mall shows, they're wrestling fans. So I mean, they're there to watch wrestling, professional wrestling. I mean, Mr. Anderson's gonna be there. Shane Douglas is gonna be there.
There it is.
And Nate Saturn and Jeff Paul happen to get the main event.
I love it.
So
I dig it. I really do. I think it'll be a great show. But let's kind of transition. Let's go to APW land where you're there weekly, every Thursday. But tell me about when you first came into APW. I'm sure you had some preconceived notions, what you thought the business was like. Tell me what was different, what was unexpected, some things you didn't expect.
The way people act in the locker room is different than I would have expected it to be. The people that you like when you're looking in, the people that you don't think would carry themselves, well, carry themselves the best.
Okay.
And I've never had a problem with anybody in the locker room. Sometimes people have heat with each other. I've never had a problem with anybody.
Mm-hmm.
I go out to the ring and get what needs to be done, and I go back to the back.
Mm-hmm.
Everything's done. But some people let it carry over. Some people don't. It's just the way you take it, and I prefer to not have it that way. Just because I like to be friends with everyone. I don't want to, be the middleman of anything or anything like that. So.
Okay.
But when I came in, it was different. If they're friends out there, they're friends in the backstage, But there's some people, that aren't friends exactly. that act like they are friends, or you could think they're best friends and brother treatment, and they aren't always together like you would think. So, you know,
I, you raise a good point. Being so early in the business, I think APW was a good fit for you because just hearing what I'm hearing about the locker room recently, when I was up there, great locker room, great atmosphere, great. But it's gotten a little heated, a little tense lately. I think you're kind of getting baptized by fire. You're seeing, am I shooting? Am I kayfabing? Who knows?
yeah,
Who knows? But you're getting back. You're seeing what the business is like right there in APW. I think so. As shitty as it may be at times, it might be a good thing. Can you see that?
yeah. See, like when you look at it like that, you're seeing stuff that other places you'll see it happen and it won't be the first time.
Mm-hmm.
For some people that will be the first time, even if they're experienced veterans. If they've been in like always healthy locker rooms, which is very unrealistic. I mean, good job, but
Right.
not so good of a job at the same time.
Right. You make a good point. And I tell everybody, man, you got to hit other promotions just to see how they're run, just to see what the locker room's like. And you've been around a few, different locker rooms. Kind of compare and contrast. You seeing the same thing, or what do you think?
So in APW, it's like sometimes there's heat back there, but at the end of the day, we all treat each other like we're a family, And then you go to places out of state, Tennessee, North Carolina, places like that. It's all like segregated, I would say. Like
Really?
one group of people sits here and the other sits here, and APW, we're not really like that. Everyone's friends. If you get heat, I mean, you're friends at the end of the day. You'll be fine tomorrow.
Right.
Go fine.
I have heard that. I've heard, you can fist fight and then talk about it a couple. Well, I mean, Jeff said it on the show, so it's not that big of a secret.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing. That's a good thing. What's the career highlights so far? What's your favorite moment so far?
So definitely my favorite moment so far is going to be my debut, the 4-H camp at Glenwood Park.
Okay.
I was with Joe Brody, just the pop on my entrance, because it was a familiar song from growing up. I've used a song familiar to that,
Okay.
so everyone knew it. So the pop was, out of this world or whatever. But, and then my match in Bland with Jeff was really a highlight because I learned so much from that. It was just really really fun. And then at the mall on the September 20th. I'm wrestling Joe, and I look to the back and I have Kerry Morton and Carlito both back there watching my match. So that was also a very, very, noticeable, you can make this kid highlight moment.
And that's another cool thing that, you're getting to work with some names. Not every promotion in the area brings in some names that you can say, hey, Carlito watched my match, So that's a plus. Just trying to think where to go from there. Let's talk about people in the scene. Who would be some dream opponents for you right here locally that you'd like to get in there with?
Locally, I'd really like to work Luke Fury. He's out of North Carolina. Gen Z, I think me and him could have a good one. And I know we're both face, but me and OK, I think we would have a pretty good match. Some fun stuff in there.
You catch old Ophi on an off day, and you can get him heel as hell. So it can happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Go ahead, I cut you off. You was gonna say somebody else.
No, that's all right. Me and Bobby worked in my second match, but I think I've come a far way since then, and I'd like to work him again.
Okay.
So
now, before you started training and everything, was you going to local shows? Was you watching the local scene on Facebook or anything?
Yeah, so at the Matt Riddle show where Jeff fought Matt, I was actually in the crowd. That was a fun one. There was a Halloween show at the mall. He fought Crash Cassidy.
Okay.
I was in the crowd for that one. And then go way back, they used to run shows at a car dealership, like in the parking lot. I went to one of those, and it was a fun one.
Nice.
But yeah, I played basketball too and whatnot, and I love it to death. But growing up, I was never really, using my imagination to play Division I basketball in the driveway. I was, fighting stuffed animals on my bed.
I got you. You needed that creative outlet.
Yeah, that's my wrestling's always been my dream, but basketball is also there, you know. So I mean, I would love to make it in wrestling, and I've been told I can, and that's my plan. That's my first plan. But I mean, yeah, you know what I mean,
Yeah, hey,
basically.
I was going to tell you, but before the end of the show, make sure to have a plan B, C, because man, wrestling's not fair. I'll be the first to tell you. You can treat everybody with respect. You can be the best of the best, but somehow you fall through the cracks, man. So and God, I don't even want to mention injury or put any of that juju on you. So
Yeah.
it's wild, man. So yeah, definitely have a plan B, C, and everything in between. Where do you see
Yeah.
what will we see happening by the end of the year? You got the big match with Jeff. Could be the champion by the end of the year. Where would you like to finish things in 2025?
2025, I want to be the same place I am right now, with a title around my shoulder, getting booked in other places too. You know, it's gonna be the winter time. Not as many spot shows, not as many outdoor shows. You know, so I'd like to be keeping a busy schedule while still, you know, playing basketball for the school, doing other things. You know how it is right now. I don't want it to change because the snow or the cold weather. You know, so
And those roads are hell too once the winter rolls around.
yeah.
Uh, okay. Well, let's say the shows don't come. What are we going to do to occupy our time? You said basketball, but that's only going to do so much. What if you don't have wrestling as a creative outlet for whatever reason? What do we do to get that creative outlet?
You know, work out, stay in shape, train when you can. Um, you know, but still hang out with your friends, hang out with your family whenever you can too. You know, just keep yourself busy. Find something to do. Don't lay on the couch and eat popcorn and watch movies and old WrestleManias. You know,
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Nothing wrong with that on occasion. Did you watch Wrestle Dream last night? Let's talk about this fiasco.
I did not watch Wrestle Dream last night.
What was you actually wrestling or something?
Last night that was Saturday. I was working for a haunted house.
Nice. Okay. Well, that's better than Wrestle Dream. Tell me about working for a haunted house.
It was fun. You know, you're under a mask, so no one really knows it's you.
Right.
Almost felt like a luchador a little bit, but I mean, you know, it's fun. Scaring people is kind of hilarious, but you lose your voice a little bit.
I'm sure.
But you got to drink the water, so that's what you do anyways. Yeah. The last wrestling pay per view I bought was TNA Bound for Glory, and that was a good one.
Fun show. Really good show. Like,
Love that show.
man, it was just so intense from top to bottom. There was so much like drama and believable drama. Just the
Yeah.
first two matches were just, man, I was bought in hook, line, and sinker. The reason I bring up Wrestle Dream, I wanted to bring this up on the show. Did you see any of the build between Darby and Mox?
No.
Okay,
The only Wrestle Dream stuff I saw was, did Daniel Bryan and Zack Sabre Jr. fight last night?
that was a couple years ago.
A couple years ago. Well,
Couple
I
years
saw
ago.
that,
Okay,
and I saw Claudio Chuck Darby.
okay.
If that was last night, I
That
don't keep up with much AEW. I just watch the clips. You know.
I get it. I get it. Well, I've been following the Moxley Darby stuff because they're both so crazy, and the build-up's been Darby coming out with flamethrowers and Molotov cocktails, and it's an I Quit match. So you're like, it's Darby Allin and Mox. Like, what are they going to do to make Darby say I quit? That is what I'm thinking, right?
Yeah.
So when you got this build-up, people always talk about, you don't want to blow your load early or whatever it may be. You don't want to give them too much early. So you got flamethrowers, Molotov cocktails. So I'm thinking they're going to do something crazy. So they got out a fish tank, and they kept dunking Darby's head in there, acting like they're going to drown him. That was the big, crazy spot. Sting saves the day. Darby puts him in the Scorpion Deathlock. Mox immediately says, I quit. So, I hate to sound like the spoiled deathmatch dork, but they'd set the stakes pretty high. You had pretty high expectations, and it was a aquarium spot in the middle of the ring. So
Yeah.
I don't know. It kind of applies to your ladder match. I'm also in the frame of mind you only get one shot at this. The potential's there, so you might as well go all out. But yeah, it kind of sets those expectations high. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. That ladder match. The plan is for me going in. I'm gonna do whatever he does. I'm gonna match it. You know. So if he gets a ladder out, cool. We can play with the ladders. If he wants to go chain at the beginning, if he wants to work, and have a normal match at the beginning, cool, we can do that too because I'll beat you in that.
Okay.
So every time I've wrestled Jeff, I've had the match won, and he's done something cheap, you know. So I win the match and don't get the title, or he wins the match cheating. So I mean,
Mm.
it is what it is at the end of the day because opportunities come, and I guess it wasn't the right opportunity at the right time because I feel like everything's gonna work out when it needs to work out.
If
But
I
I mean,
if I was you, I'd have all your friends from the haunted house come in full outfit. Like, you're gonna
yeah,
need like 20 of them, and just have them swarm the ring when the shit goes down. Because man, I just see this fiasco about to happen. No rules, ladder match. Like I say, bring some friends and bring then some. You gotta top him at his own game. You gotta out cheat Jeff Paul.
yeah, that's a very good point. You have to beat him at his game because he's gonna play his game because that's what he's used to.
Mm-hmm.
That's what he's always done. There's been one time that Jeff Paul hasn't played his game, and it was in NWA against Kerry Morton in a tag team match. I mean, and it's really cool for me. I've shared a locker room with both those guys, so seeing that clip, seeing that match was really awesome. But I mean, it was actually shocking to me that Jeff just didn't find a way to cheat somehow, But
Oh, he knew the big shots were watching. He wants that NWA TV deal. He's playing nice
yeah,
for the. He knows what he's doing. You
yeah,
know.
he does know what he's doing. You're right.
And I'm glad you brought that up. It was cool to see him and Casey King on NWA. It was cool to see Gen Z, Cowpoke Paul, Reese Ramon on ROH recently. Some of the West Virginia guys are finally getting some opportunities.
I want to make it big, of course. It doesn't really matter to me where, whether it's in Japan, here, WWE, AEW, TNA. Um, I've been told by many people who know what they're talking about that I can make it if I stick with it, if I keep training, if I stay in the gym. So that's definitely the end goal. But that's also the end goal for every single wrestler, that does it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Pretty much. So I just gotta find, what can I do that they can't? What's Nate Saturn good at that they're not good at? What's gonna differentiate me from them? And that's what's gonna get me there. And I feel like it's definitely not to sound big headed, but I feel like with me having an athletic background, it's more possible for me than it is some other people.
Very true.
But
Very true. And that kind of, you're in West Virginia. Let's call a spade a spade. That's working against you. There's not a whole lot going on around here where there's a whole lot of eyes on us. So that means you got to go. You gotta travel. You got to get out of here to get some eyes on you. Give me the pros and cons of being a West Virginia indie wrestler.
West Virginia indie wrestler, pros are some pros, you're close to home, your family's there. Um, you know, Not everybody is the best, so you're already here where some people are here. Um, the people you grow close with, they're there for you.
Yeah.
In West Virginia, some places, just the culture there, they'll be like, nah, you got it, go be yourself. But the people here, it's like almost like a family. If I needed someone to, if there was a guy threatening to do something to me, one call, I got help, or one call, they're there.
Right on.
But at the end of the day, the cons, there's not that much exposure. APW is one of the only places in West Virginia with a weekly TV taping.
Mm-hmm.
There's places that have YouTube channels, there are places that have TV tapings, but not every single week like we do on Thursday.
Right on.
Um, and that's definitely a pro for West Virginia too. Is where I'm at. I'm lucky enough to be able to say that I have TV tapings. I have training here and Boogies. I graduated Boogies a couple weeks ago.
Congrats.
That's 30 minutes away.
Right.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
That's 30 minutes away. But definitely the plan for after high school. I'm only 16. I'm definitely looking to move somewhere to get more training time to get. I've really looked into Tyler Breeze and Sean Spears School down in Florida, because they offer housing and stuff like that. And honestly, I don't think college is for me. I do good in school, but there's just so much that you can take, and then it's take it or leave it. So
I got you.
definitely wrestling is what I want to do with my life, whether it's sleeping in my car night after night making $10 a show, or if I make 250 to do a meet and greet. So
Good on you. Good on you. I'm glad you mentioned Boogies. I always love hearing about the training at Boogies, the experience. I like watching video from there, just looking at all the stuff on the walls. And I've always liked Boogie Woogie Man Jimmy Valiant. So take me to Boogies. Tell me about the training there. Anything you put out there.
Boogies is awesome, man. Like I've said it so many times, but I don't really mean it more than I do right now. Everyone there is a family. There's nobody that has heat with each other. We're all there to get better. We're all there chasing a dream, you know. We're all, and we realize that. We're all. One of my best matches I've ever had was with Koga at Boogies, my graduation match. He's very fun to work. Um, he does really good too. He's a babyface karate type guy, you
Okay.
know. But him and Mike Mars, they're the trainers there.
Mm-hmm.
They know what they're talking about. You know, getting to see Boogie every single week, getting to see Angel. If you need gear, she'll make it for you. You know, and it's done in a timely manner.
Right.
It's just some places charge 200, and it takes 7 weeks to get here. She
Beastman waited
charges
4 years.
she charges 100 to 150,
Okay.
and it's here in 2-3 weeks. You know, so and it's just Boogie loves us. He takes us all under his wing. Like Hangman, Boogie trained Hangman, you know, and Hangman's making it big, and Boogie has a shirt on his wall. It says Hangman, like it's like Boogie and Hangman, and they're selling it, and it's just they're all a family. You know, if Hangman had a problem with it, he'd tell Boogie, but nobody has a problem because it's all like everyone loves each other there, you know.
It's what everybody said, so I believe it because different people I've asked, I've had a few folks on the show from Boogies, and that same story from everybody, so something special going on there. Okay, so you started at Boogies, then came to APW. Is that right?
I came
Or,
to APW training for 2 weeks, and then I started going to Boogies after that. So I
okay,
realized that I really can do this, and I want to get the most training possible, you know.
good on you. Good on you. Okay, so kind of compare and contrast those two places. You start at APW, then you go to Boogies. What was different at Boogies? And
Um, Boogies, there's more people.
okay,
Um, it's 4 hours, you know, so there's a lot of learning moves if you want. There's a lot of going over spots and getting more match like simulation. Where at APW you learn more holds, and you just make sure everything's looking good. You know, like your lockups are looking good, your headlock takeover, all the basic stuff's looking good. And then once everybody's basic stuff's looking good, you know, you'll move over to the what you'll call a spot, back elbow, drop down, clothesline, leapfrog, you know, all the fun stuff.
gotcha.
Um, International, you know, I learned international at Boogies. I took it up to APW, and we learned it there because not everyone knew that. Well, they knew how to do it, but
Hmm.
they didn't know the verbiage. They didn't know the vocabulary for it. You know, they didn't know that it's called international or universal or whatever. So
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Let's talk about the local fans. I think we got some special fans, especially in your neck of the woods. I really like the folks there. But the folks watching from outside the area that don't know about West Virginia, the Carolinas, wrestling fans, let us know what they're like.
um, well, they're different. You know, people here they'll come up to you, they'll talk to you. You know, um, out of state, you know, they majority of them have more money, so they'll buy more merch. They'll ask for more autographs here. You know, pictures, like just pictures, like taking a picture with someone, that can make their whole entire year. You know,
Right on.
you get in a picture with an indie wrestler. You know, it's some people, not to take anything from the indies, but some people like wouldn't even be exactly happy if they got a picture with like a mid Carter in WWE or AEW. But here in West Virginia, you know, you can take a picture with a local indie wrestler who no more than 8,000 people know about. I mean, and it makes their whole entire, weekend.
That makes a
So,
good point because think about it. In our area, we're not cranking out a bunch of rock stars or Hollywood movie actors on occasion, but Don Knotts was a while ago, and think what Brad Paisley's from West Virginia. So this is their chance to interact with stars. I mean, hey man, you're on TV. They can't take that away from you. You're on the television. Somebody could be channel surfing and see a Nate Saturn match. So, so I think you do make a good point. We don't get a lot of opportunities to mingle with stars around here.
Yeah, it's definitely, something that people don't realize as much as others do, Sure, let's take a picture. Oh, I just took a picture with, Nate Saturn. I just took a picture with Lane Cali, cool. And then you got the people that are like, oh my gosh, that just made my whole entire year.
Right.
I'm hanging that on a wall.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it's definitely a fun thing.
For sure. Oh yeah, man, it's good. I say we're putting smiles on faces. So, and there's some good folks. We're making some good folks happy. So I'm all for it. I love it. Any crappy fan interactions yet in all your travels?
No, not really. I mean, I've had some shows with a very tiny draw.
Right.
One show, I usually work face. I'm a baby face, but when you got a state, you got to do both. So I was at one show, and they was like, go out there. If the fans lean into you like a hill, be a hill. If the fans lean into you like a face, be a face.
Mm-hmm.
You go out there, and they don't lean into you at all because you're from Princeton, West Virginia, and you're wrestling here in Kingsport, Tennessee. So
Okay.
you don't know, like they don't know you. They're not gonna pop for you. So you just got to be the greatest, in between of all time.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay, but they kind of tested you. I think that's cool. Was there a spot? Have you worked heel yet?
no, I haven't. I did some hill stuff in that. It was a battle royal, but that's about all I've done hill. Because when you look at me, you don't really expect me to be a hill. You expect me to be a baby face. So when I work hill, it's hard because you have to logically think about it. Like when I work hill, I do the, oh, you wish you could be me. You wish you could be as young as me. You wish you could be as good as me or as great as I'm gonna be. So
Yeah.
it's just you gotta lean into it. Play. You can't change your age, so just play into it.
There you go. Yeah, we could put some sunglasses on you and piss some people off. I know it.
Yeah.
Okay, I dig it. Okay, well, you mentioned a battle royal. Take me through your experience in a battle royal, working a battle royal opposed to a one-on-one match. The chaos and everything involved. Just give the viewers working a battle royal.
So a battle royal it's a whole different layout.
Mm-hmm.
So when you're looking at it backstage, when you see what's gonna happen, you know what's gonna happen. They tell you what's gonna happen. They tell you who you're eliminating. They tell you who's eliminating you. Where to when you're doing a singles match or even a triple threat or a tag team match, they say who's over, and that's about all they say.
Okay.
You call the rest. So it's definitely different, because it's a lot more, calling it in the ring for one than the other. But battle royals are also very fun because there's so many different people that you can go after.
Right on.
And if you make an ally, then it's just so much more fun because you're there standing, and then eventually I'm sure they're going to turn on you. It's every man for themselves.
Okay.
So, I came in third, and I got thrown out third in that one. But I was, until I got thrown out, doing the majority of the beatdown. I feel like everyone who ran in, I was the only man standing, and then they would, bump and feed. So
Gotcha.
that's how that goes.
Okay. Well, since we're really breaking it down, watching your stuff, I see you as a very new school type of cat. I think there's a lot of potential there to do a lot of innovative moves and things you don't typically see. But you're working for a very old school type of guy in Joe Brody. So tell me about some of the challenges. I'm sure there's times you want to do some moves that you can't do or whatever it may be. But from my interactions with you, you seem like a super respectful kid. So tell me about, like I say, trying to be an innovative, this new school Ring of Honor style, but working for an old school guy in Joe Brody.
So there's a lot of moves that you want to learn, but I would never do a move that I haven't already learned.
Right on.
Like in a match, I'm not gonna pull out a moonsault if I haven't learned it.
Gotcha.
Or I'm not gonna pull out a Phoenix Splash if I never learned it.
Mm-hmm.
Which both I think I'm capable of, and I think both will end up in my moveset. I'm working on a really cool move right now. It's from the top rope. It's basically a reverse spiral tap. I've just been doing it on the when I can. Next time I go to Boogie's, I'm sure I'll try to work on it, but not at the Bradley training because they're two completely different things, you know.
Okay.
And at the same time, there's a time and a place for the new school stuff and the old school stuff, you know. If you're
Mhm.
down in War, West Virginia, they're not there to see 48 front flips and a Spanish fly. They're there to see some headlock takeovers, working arm and stuff like that. And Beckley, you got to do some of both because half of them's one way and half's the other way. But it's really fun because I get to get the best of like both worlds. It also depends on who I'm working because Joe does like the old school stuff, but if as long as you're safe, it doesn't necessarily matter as long as it looks good because it's going on television.
Right on. That's another thing.
So,
We try some high risk stuff. There's, a lot of room for error. It could go wrong, and Joe don't want to have to edit that. He's putting out a TV show. So, yeah, man, that's a good point. Okay, well, I get the logic on it and all. Okay, and like you say, there's a time and place for all of it, different fans and everything. But I'll put this out there. I remember a show, I think it was 2002. I was there with a bunch of old heads and honky tonk, NWA, rah rah rah. But me and my buddy, we've been watching TNA wrestling and a lot of New Japan and stuff. And I've talked about it numerous times on this podcast. Vance Desmond against Zach Vincent. First time I saw Poison Rana live, I was like, wow, they can do this in West Virginia. I guess my point is there may be an opportunity to wow those two hardcore fans, and they'll talk about it for years to come if they ever start a podcast. There's that possibility. For as little and minute it is.
There's also the point where you realize how many people's in the crowd.
Yeah, very good point.
You don't want to take 4 power drivers and a Canadian destroyer in front of 20 people.
Mm-hmm.
You might not want to take it in front of 400 people, depending on your mood, I guess. But you don't want to take I don't have a problem with hardcore wrestling. I like watching some of it. Matt Cardona is my dream match, not necessarily the hardcore match, but that's that. But you don't want to. I was at a show the other day and they was having a street fight and there was about 15 people there. I was like, all right, you can go ahead and do that, but I'm not.
Yep. You make a good point. I was working for a company a couple years ago. They were building up this big match, and this match was supposed to get bloody. I'm running around the ring, hiding this here, hiding that there. Hey, man, I hid the cheese grater here, and I hid this there, so you can use it, and this and that. And then people started rolling in, and didn't get near the draw we thought we would, so there was no blood, there was no run-ins, it was still a damn good match, solid match, but it wasn't the bloodbath because, why do it for 15 people, And I think it was more than 15, to be fair. But still, you want to save that for if you got a big crowd. Now, there's that logic. I'll always argue, but I'm filming this for an audience of 6,000 subscribers on YouTube and beyond. Somebody could turn it on if the thumbnail's big. So I don't know. Like I say, it might have a small crowd, but if it's being filmed, there's potential for more to see it. So where do you kind of draw the line there?
It really depends on where you're at, like who you're working.
Yeah.
And where I'm at right now, I know how to say no.
Okay.
To something that someone wants to call, but I'm pretty lenient, The ladder match. There's some stuff that I have in my mind going in. There's some stuff I'm sure Jeff has in his mind going in. Me and Jeff think very similarly, but there's also some stuff that if the draw's not as good as we're expecting, we might not do. So
I got you.
There's a seminar early that morning with Mr. Anderson, Mr. Kennedy. Hopefully that'll help us draw,
Right.
There's so many different things that go into drawing fans that people don't necessarily realize, on that PWO show there's a wide variety, there's a ladder match and then you have a singles match and then you have Shane Douglas and Bobby Yellow working, and then you have Mr. Anderson working lane. So there's other stuff going on in the match, and there's just DD Trash will be there. They're their own there's like different like categories of wrestling.
Hmm.
DD Trash has their own, you know.
No,
So
for you make a good point. I remember I was just telling Rucker about this the other day. The first time I filmed them wrestling, I'd filmed probably 100 matches before that. And when they got in there and the tags in and out and just they knew what they were doing, well-oiled machine. Just you got to give them that, man. They know what they're doing and they execute it like that. And from the entrance to the end of the match, till the end bell. So,
yeah, they definitely know how to work
and
different crowds, you know.
uh-huh. And we was talking about the science to it. I still, the sciences that are proven formulas still don't always work. I was talking on the last podcast how I thought for sure that show in Monongah was going to sell out because I'd made a hype package and I'd went in a parade and I'd put up flyers everywhere and everybody was talking about it on the internet. So I thought for sure it would sell out. And it didn't. It didn't come close. It's just,
Yeah.
it's so weird, man. And you
There's
can't.
so many different things, you know. So I went to work for Rated R Wrestling, with a company out of Johnson City.
Mm-hmm.
They usually draw, you know, 200, 300, 400 a show.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you have Innovate Wrestling that same day. They announced a cage show
Okay.
a couple days before, right up the road in Kingsport. You know, so that's of course gonna draw more.
Mm-hmm.
So they did, but it was all right at the end of the day.
Right on. Yeah, and I mean, not only competing wrestling shows, you got, I believe that show I was talking about, there was homecoming on the same night, so a lot of the people were at
Yeah.
homecoming, you know? I mean, there's so many factors. People don't want to go
There's a bunch
outside in
of
the
football
rain.
games.
Huh.
Yeah. There's football games, you know, going into it. One of my best matches, I had a live action band playing right beside us. It was like watching the wrestling on mute.
Nice.
So it was fun. But I mean, they didn't take anybody from us, you know, because you could hear them anyways. But
We had a show a couple years, last summer. It was right next to a rodeo. And over at that rodeo, probably 1,000 people, and they were hollering over the loudspeaker. You couldn't even hear the wrestling because the crowd was so loud, and their loudspeakers were so loud.
yeah,
And we had maybe 20 people watching the wrestling. And I remember packing up the ring and putting the ring away, and I could hear them over at the rodeo. And when you're done with us, go check out the wrestling next door. And I'm like, man, we're packing up. Thanks for trying for us.
yeah. And then there's people that come to the wrestling and they're like, "Oh, look, a rodeo. I'm
Mm-hmm.
gonna go to that instead." You know,
How can we win over the rodeo fans? Maybe that's the question of the podcast. How can we get those rodeo fans over to the wrestling show, Nate Saturn? What's your game plan?
um, I guess you need a Pony Johnson there. You know,
Pony Johnson, Hangman,
type guy. Yeah,
Pony versus
Hangman.
Hangman.
Yeah, you need to ride a horse to the ring, I guess.
There you go. Okay. It might do it. Start over at the rodeo on the horse, and a few people are going to follow it over.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the coolest thing you saw on TV wrestling this year?
This year, that's a good question actually.
There's been some stuff.
I might be a little bit biased to my upcoming, but so I was at WrestleMania in Vegas for
Nice.
my brother's graduation present. We went, but I was sitting there right across the road. It was happening, you know, and I'm just sitting there watching Javon Evans versus Obafemi versus Trick Williams, and I'm like, wow, I could really get there one day because Javon's from
Mm-hmm.
North Carolina. It's not far away. He's probably worked some of the same companies already. You know, that's another dream match of mine. And then the Hardys versus the Dudleys, because I grew up on that, you know, a little bit, just watching it back.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my favorite tag team feud of all time. And the fact that they did it in a tables match just made it that much better, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I watched that whole pay-per-view just because I wanted to see that match, and the entire pay-per-view was amazing. But weird finish. Weird finish. But I don't ever see Bubba Ray Dudley giving up. But he
Yeah,
kind
it
of was
reminded
just,
me of
huh?
the Ric Flair, Shawn Michaels is what it kind of reminded me of there on that.
Right on. Yeah, weird finish, but it was a nice little callback and everything, and nice moment. brought a tear to the eye. So yeah, that was good stuff.
It was good storytelling.
Oh yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it. Yeah, you watch a lot of the indies, GCW, JCW, any
I
of
do
that?
watch GCW. I like the There's this one thing that comes right to my mind when you mentioned GCW. It was at Homecoming, I think. I'm pretty sure. Matt Cardona versus Shotzi.
Okay.
Tommy Invincible comes out dressed as Nick Gage. He gets a crazy pop, you
Yep.
know. People get so mad about it.
Uh huh.
And then Nick Gage comes out and it's actually him. And it was just hilarious to me that the pop for the real one wasn't as loud as Tommy Invincible.
Right.
But it's just wrestling fans because, they could have thought it would be fake again. So,
Uh huh. And they finally did bring him back because they had teased it here and there, and nobody knew why he
yeah.
left. I'm a GCW dork. You talk about Cardona. The first time when he won that title and all the debris and stuff, haha, NWO wasn't shit compared to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I have two dream matches that actually like three that they're bigger names. I'd love to work Seth Rollins. I'd love to work Matt Cardona. Not even Zack Ryder. Matt Cardona. He's
Right on.
renamed himself. And
Mm-hmm.
then me and Swerve, I think we work very differently, but we can have a really good match.
Hell yeah. And you know what? I was thinking the other day, I think the Indies owe Matt Cardona a thank you because he could have taken the easy money and just worked the occasional TNA or whatever he wanted to do, I'm sure. But man, he's brought a lot of eyes to a lot of different promotions, not just GCW. I mean, he's popped up everywhere and got some eyes on those promotions. So,
Yeah.
indie wrestling owes Matt Cardona.
Yeah, like House of Glory, he was there the other day. I watched that show. I I really like Indy Hartwell, the way she works.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked her and Zeta. I like that match because Zeta's really good too.
Right.
But
Mm-hmm.
um, yeah, I like that match a lot.
And House of Glory, they put production into it. They're doing really well.
Yeah, they are. They are. And Revolver.
Oh
Revolver
yeah.
does really well too.
There's some place you can get your foot in the door. You know, a few guys
Yeah.
working backstage there that you could ride with sometime.
Yep, that is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Shout out Phil Stamper, the Prez. Hell yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of like places. DPW in North Carolina. They do good. House of Glory, they're all over. But I mean, Reality of Wrestling, they do good.
Mm-hmm. Oh, how
That's
OVW not too far away.
yeah.
So, heck yeah, man. There's options out there, and I think things are going to continue to grow. As far as the internet, modern technology, anybody can make a wrestling product look slick nowadays if they want to, and I really think that really helps sell the product. So
Yeah,
I think the future's looking good.
definitely.
Nate Saturn,
Hopefully, I make it there. I just gotta make sure I take the right steps in the right direction. You know.
that's a hard one, man. Because we start the show talking about don't trust anybody, but if you trust the right one, then they're gonna lead you down the right road. But
Yep.
that's something only you can do for you is figure out which way to go, and you're putting in the work and everything. But
Yeah.
I think you know what I'm saying.
I understand completely what you're saying.
Okay. Well, rolling into the final 10 minutes, Nate Saturn. So in the final 10 minutes, I give everybody the chance to shout out their socials. If you got merchandise you're selling, promote them upcoming shows. If there's anything that you had on your chest that you didn't get off your chest, whatever you want to say. My platform's your platform right now. You have at it, sir.
All right, so upcoming shows, I have the PWO show November 1st at Mercer Mall. Shane Douglas is going to be there, Mr. Anderson, Mr. Kennedy, however but he'll be there. I have a ladder match at show. I'm very thrilled for it, actually. My socials, I have Facebook, it's Nate Saturn. I have TikTok, it's Nate period Saturn, And then I have merch. I have this shirt. I have a few others, I have a blue one, a purple one, a white one, a orange one. Um, that's in wrestling. That's where the money's at. Definitely the
Mm-hmm.
merch. You know, I'm getting hats made. I'm getting bracelets made. I'm selling pictures at my merch table.
Good.
So yeah.
Dope. All right. All right. Find you at a show, buy the merch, or shoot you a message on Facebook, I assume.
Yep, yep. I'll
Hell,
get it to you somehow.
dope. Hell yeah, man. Well, you got any crazy road stories that you're allowed to tell?
Crazy road stories. No, not yet. You know,
Good.
I've gone to some shows with my dad, my mom. You know, I've people backstage. You know, it's crazy because this one, me, Jeff Paul, Joe Brody, and Tony Purdue all went to a show in North Carolina together,
Oh
and
man.
we see how all that went. And we know how we know how much they love me, don't we?
That,
So
that might have been the car ride that did you in.
it might have been. Who knows?
Because I asked Joe about it. I don't know if you watched the podcast, and they think that you know better than they do what's good for you. So maybe you said something.
Maybe I did. Nothing I can remember though. I think they're still just a little bit upset. I've taken it by storm, and they were the names in the company before I got there. They're still names. I'm not taking anything from them.
Right.
I respect them, even though they don't necessarily respect me that much. But I'm really just trying to plead my case to show that I really am one of one. To show that no, just because you're more experienced than me, you're more, you've been in the business longer, you're a champion. Like, I respect you for that, and I respect everything you tell me, and I'll listen. I've been told many times I will listen, but I'm not gonna let you walk over me. So I'm not gonna be your little dog or anything like that.
Good. Good. And my argument, man, you're 16 years old. Give the kids some grace, man. Like, damn. I'd like to see what Jeff Paul was doing when he was 16 years old. Joe Brody, I know he went off to the military, so I'd
Jeff said in
assume.
a promo.
Do what?
Jeff said in a promo one time that when he was my age, he was sitting in school suspension, rethinking his life choices. So I was like, if you wanna, if that's you, that's you.
Hey.
Go for it.
And somewhere along the way, he got into some fight at Go-Mart because that guy was talking about it on Facebook.
Yep, and then he moved to Los Angeles after that. I guess came back.
Well, because that guy saved him. Hey, Rick. And that guy is definitely no Macho Man. He's no Hulk Hogan, and he's no James Frost.
That is true. That is true.
God bless you, man. Down that way with those type of characters, man. You better just get the hell out of Dodge. That's the best thing I can tell you. Woo.
Yeah.
And stay away from the Go-Marts. They're wild and rowdy. Well, Nate Saturn, I think you got a future ahead of you. I really think.
Thank you.
I think you and Jeff can steal the show, and that's a stacked show. And as a matter of fact, I'm gonna say y'all could steal the year if the crowd's there, the atmosphere's right, and you go out there and do what both you guys are capable of. I think there's some potential to make a little bit of West Virginia wrestling history, and I think that's kind of what we need at the moment. So do us all a favor. I have faith in Jeff. Just from talking to other folks and watching a little bit, I have faith in you. Go out there and knock it out of the park for us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. I'm happy we got it done. I'm happy I got to be here.
We got it done. We got it done. You got any final words before I wrap this bad boy up?
Just come see me. Come see me when I'm around. Come talk to me. Come buy merch if that's what you want. I'll take a picture with you. I'll sign your shirt. I'll do whatever. Just come talk to me. Come say hi. Come watch me. Whenever I'm around.
There you go. Catch him while he's here. Bradley Fire Department every Thursday night. Pretty cheap too, $10. You can tell him you're a kid and try to get in for free. I don't know. It's worth a shot.
Yep.
Worth a shot. All right, Nate Saturn. I'll ask you to hang on the line, sir. To the listeners, this is why we do it. Good people doing great things. Go out there and live your dreams. Treat each other with kindness and respect. Don't take no shit from nobody. We got plenty more coming down the pike. It's spooky season. WrestleRoni is on a roll. I can't thank you all enough for watching and all your love and support. November 1st, PWL Mercer Mall. Is it a PWL APW joint show? I don't know. Regardless, why do you need to know? It's a wrestling show. You got Shane Douglas, you got Mr. Kennedy, Mr. Anderson, whatever you want to call him. You got Jeff Paul, Nate Saturn in a ladder match, in a match that could be talking about for ages. Get down there and see it. Stay tuned to the next one. Spooky Lou loves you. We're out of here.